You've got it tuned to KEXP, where the music matters. You can find us at 90.3 FM in Seattle, 92.7 FM in the Bay Area, streaming worldwide at kexp.org and also on the KEXP mobile apps. I'm Cheryl Waters. I'm down here in the KEXP studios with a longtime friend. And I have to say, we have some pretty talented friends here at KEXP. It's Matt Berninger. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Cheryl.
It is so great to have you here. And ahead of the release of Get Sunk, your newest solo release, and you have some pretty talented people with you here today.
I do. I have Sean O'Brien, who has produced the record with me, and I've been writing and making records with him for about 10 years. And he wrote 6 of the 10 songs. And then everybody here played everything on the record. Julia Laws, Ron Boy is over there, Garret Lang, and Sterling Laws on drums. Garret on bass, Sterling on drums. And this is the band that made the whole record, plus with a few other people and Meg Duffy and a number of other people. Kyle Resnick from the Nationals on the record a lot, and so it's but most of the record was made by everybody right here in the room. So.
Well, that's a real treat, and I can't wait to talk more about how that happened. But why don't you start us off with some music?
Okay, wrote this one with Sean O'Brien. Am I correct? I am. This is Bonnet of Pins. Takes a lot to really disappear. Always leave traces in the leaves. Never thought I'd see her here. Never thought I'd see her again. She sidewinders through the room to me with a real cigarette and a styrofoam coffee. She's still wearing her father's feather jacket. She holds out her hands and I stand to receive her, trying to remember the last time I'd seen her. Somehow she looks younger now. She finishes off my drink and puts on a bonnet of pins and says, I thought I'd find you much quicker than this. You must have thought I didn't exist for you. I do. We better go before your boyfriends cry. She says she takes photos of tractor bones and sells them to model luxury homes. Closest thing she's ever found to love is the kind you can't get rid of fast enough. She finishes off my drink and puts on a bonnet of pins and says, I thought I'd find you much quicker than this. You must have thought I didn't exist for you. We better go before your boyfriends cry. Take a step to the bottom where the lights are at, and the breather and the lighter and the Nabokov cocktail. Forget the questioning and the oral history. I don't care how many times you almost said you missed. It's a cut-trick show game, it's a puff of smoke, and it gets me every time. It's a pretty good joke. I know that you miss me, I know that you miss me. This stuff takes her life. She finishes off my drink, puts on a bonnet of pins and says, I thought I'd find you much quicker than this. Must have thought I didn't exist for you. I
Bonnet of Pins. This is called No Love.
This place has a sinking feeling. The energy's so strange. No one can tell what the difference is between spine and fame. The music's so unromantic. Our eyeballs are red and dry. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. The vibes aren't right. No love. We don't know how it happened. Everything we ever wanted, but no love. Maybe after once in a lifetime, we'll figure out what we want. We won't have any idea where. It's probably somewhere in the parking lot. This place has a sinking feeling. The energy's so strange. No one can tell what the difference is between spine and fame. No love. Don't know how it happened. Everything we ever wanted, but no love. No love. We keep on without it. The music's so unromantic, but no love. We say sorry then we laugh it off with careful hugs and kisses off the cheek. We say sorry then we laugh it off with careful hugs and kisses off the cheek. No love. Don't know how it happened. Everything we ever wanted, but no love. No love. We keep keeping on without it. The music's so unromantic. No love. We say sorry then we laugh it off with careful hugs and kisses off the cheek.
Wrote that one with Sean O'Brien, just like the last one. Wrote this one with Sean O'Brien. This is called Breaking Into Acting. On the record, it features Hand Habits, Meg Duffy. They are not here with us. They are on tour with Perfume Genius. So Ron Boy will be stepping in on Breaking Into Acting, playing the role of Meg Duffy, playing the role of Matt Berninger.
Ever since you were a kid, you could cry on command. Everybody said it's a gift, you should use it. When
whenever you can. You can do it big or you can do it like you don't really care. Just tell you where. Turns out almost anyone can do it. It's a scam. Always have a cheat sheet in your jacket. You're breaking into acting. You'll do anything to be discovered. It's getting out of hand. Your mouth is always full of blood packets. You're breaking into acting. Gonna make me a fan. Give you something you can work with, then you're gonna make it worth the price of tickets. You've read everything they've ever written about how to use your eyes to succeed in business. Let me know when we should start, or are we already started? I don't care. Is anybody there? It's a scam. Always have a cheat sheet in your jacket. You're breaking into acting. You'll do anything to be discovered. It's getting out of hand. Your mouth is always full of blood packets. You're breaking into acting. I completely understand. You give all you got, but for the record, I don't believe it at all. Not for a second. It's a scam. Always have a cheat sheet in your jacket. You're breaking into acting. You'll do anything to be discovered. It's getting out of hand. Your mouth is always full of blood packets. You're breaking into acting. You're gonna make me a fan. And this song is the first song on the record, Get Sunk. It's called Inland Ocean. I wrote this one, actually started writing this one 5 years ago, and I wrote this with Walter Martin. And it was, even 5 years ago, I knew this would be the first song on whatever record was being made at that point. Turns out it's this one. So here's Inland Ocean. God loves the inland ocean, lost cause. I have no emotion. God loves the inland ocean, lost cause. I have no emotion. Flew to Indiana to see a friend. She was already dust by then. I needed a walk, I needed a swim. I flew to Indiana to see a friend. Let me stay here, let me please. Wrap me up in your summer sheets. Say you're never getting rid of me. Wrap me up and bury me. And bury me. And bury me. To everything ends before I wanted to. Needed more time alone with you. Isn't there anything I can do? Everything ends before I wanted to. Everything ends before I wanted to. Needed more time alone with you. Isn't there anything I can do? Everything ends before I wanted to. 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 Got love, the inland ocean, lost cause. I have no emotion. Got love, the inland ocean, lost cause. I have no emotion. No emotion. No emotion. No emotion. Everything else before I wanted to. Needed more time alone with you. Isn't there anything I can do? Everything else before I wanted to. Everything else before I wanted to. Needed more time alone with you. Isn't there anything I can do? Everything else. That was In the Ocean with the frog sound effects. There's a lot of frogs on this record, and there was one right in the middle of that song, if you noticed it, purely on purpose. Yeah, that's it. That's the songs for today, Cheryl.
That was amazing.
Thanks.
Matt Berninger live on KEXP, songs from the newest album, Get Sunk, out on Concord. And oh my goodness, I am in such a happy place right now. And as I said, such a treat to have the band that performed on the album here today. You all sound amazing. And I want to jump right into collaborators since you just called out the frogs there. And in addition to Sean, just ripping it over here on guitar, the sonic landscape of Get Sunk blossomed with the help of a lot of people. And I'm just curious what it was like in the studio. You have so many talented friends. You mentioned Kyle Resnick, our dear, dear friend Meg Duffy of Hand Habits, Ron Boy, who is, of course, in the band and also featured on a song, and Walter and
Booker T.
Paul,
Jones is on this, and
who produced your last album.
yeah, who produced Serpentine Prison along with Sean. Yeah, and then these guys were all right after Serpentine Prison came out in the lockdown. Pretty much this band formed way back then, like 5 years ago, so we started writing songs right away after Serpentine Prison came out during the lockdown, and I would go over to Sean's and some of those songs, we had a whole batch of songs. I'm sorry, I don't know if you asked this a question or not.
You're going right where I want to hear.
Yeah. And so, and I had a bunch more songs, some of them like this one that I'd written with Walter Martin, a couple I'd written with Mike Brewer and Paul Maroon, who's also in Walkman. Those ended up on this album. There's a bunch that didn't from that period back then. And then I went through a long period of writer's block, which talked about a bunch, and then kind of came out of that with the National, the last two records and all that touring. But during that, I started writing more songs with Sean while I was still in Los Angeles, and a whole nother batch came together. And So Get Sunk is the sort of product of these two periods with the same band, but separated by like 3 years in the middle, I guess.
You just mentioned like 100 people, and then there's a ton of people that you've collaborated with in the past that weren't even on this record. Some of my faves, Dia Victoria, Andrew Bird, the list goes on and on. What do you love about working with someone, writing with someone? I know you collaborate with your wife as well.
Well, a lot of them can play the guitar and piano. That's one of
note
the
to
main
self.
things. No. So, yeah, I mean,
Learn guitar and piano.
I have written songs by myself on piano and guitar, but they're my worst song. They're the worst songs that I've done. But so yeah, from the beginning, I got pulled into a band in college. Nancy, with Scott and Mike Brewer, I still write with, who's on this record, and Casey Reese and Jeff Salem. They could all play guitars and stuff and drums and they let me sing half the songs, and then I started writing more and more, and they just let me because I wanted to, and I asked them if I could, and they liked me, and so that's how I got into being in a band. But that was. So I've never been a really. I mean, this is a solo album, but it might be the most collaborative thing I've ever done. So same thing with the last solo album that had so many people, so many friends on it. So yeah, I hate doing anything alone. I can't, because that's why I hate it, because I can't get anywhere.
Well, and you're so fun and outgoing and friendly. I wonder how you get anything done in the studio if you bring all your friends in. What was the vibe like when you were recording?
Does anybody else have a microphone?
Yeah, everyone's got one.
I thought it was pretty good. Anybody else? Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like the vibe is always all that matters. I mean, the whole like getting at the end of it and having a record at the end of it. Like, I'm depressed when I'm done with a record. I mean, I listen to it like crazy right after we master it, and I love it, and I have fun, and I get drunk to it. But then it's all done, and yeah, the weird long, just confused days and frustrating days, and then the breakthroughs it's so fun. I mean, having a breakthrough and figuring out a line, or just figuring out what to do with the drums, or every one of those is like a serotonin boost. So that's the process is always like what I'm addicted to. I'm not really addicted to the thing at the end, or I don't know. I don't worry too much about the thing at the end while I'm doing it, because otherwise it won't be any fun.
But also what comes after the thing at the end is touring, and you didn't really get to do that on Serpentine Prison. So it must be nice now to be able to share this, and with this band who helped you make it, share it with fans and get out there.
We're doing most of those songs, or a lot of those songs. We're doing some national songs. We're doing some other covers, and yeah, I mean, it'll be really fun to. I mean, that's the first time we've ever performed publicly. Just then, right? Yeah. Yes. That was pretty good for first. Well, I mean, Sean and Julian and I did some stuff in Europe, but it was just a trio. But that was the first full band performance. Good job, guys. Yeah, but so I always think that like the record versions of any songs are always the high school photograph, but it's when you go walk on stage and you play them in front of people where they go to college and become the people that they will eventually be. And so so even national songs are still changing every time we walk on stage. And so that's a whole different process that I also like, so it's all about that. It's all about the finding and discovering.
Well, that's one of the things that keeps people coming back over and over to see the National, and that'll be the same when you keep going out and touring. I hope many more records.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, your new album is rich in sonic landscape, and it's a good thing your friends let you start writing songs many decades ago, because you're pretty good at it. These lyrics are pretty poignant.
I got better.
I heard that this record's not patently autobiographical, but these are pretty personal songs, and without taking you too deep and back into your headspace, in the pandemic times and stuff, can you talk a little bit about what inspired this record and what stories you're telling here? I mean, you said that you knew that In the Ocean was going to be the first song in an album before you even knew what else was coming.
Yeah, I mean, back in that first batch that we were writing, I think there was obviously some of those songs were even started I don't even know where some of them started, but they might have been before any word of COVID or anything even happened. But so I don't. Isn't at all. I wouldn't say this is at all a lockdown record. It's not. Some of it starts there, but most of it becomes the record way after that. With hopefully with some perspective on not only that, but my own thing. And my own thing was somewhat COVID related, lockdown related, and stuff related. But it was also it was just I was burnt out. So I think it's the whole record isn't about that stuff. The last two national records it was more of kind of even going back and further and trying to figure out like, well, what led to all that? What were the things that defined me? Were there these defining moments that make me how I am? And the more I went back, there are bad things. There are a lot of bad things, but I don't think any of them really defined me. But there's all these good things that I think define me. And so I think the record is like going back to a lot of those places. And a lot of that happened to my uncle's farm in Indiana. So that Indiana gets mentioned many different times on the record. And but it's not about necessarily the Midwest, but it's about all that sort of that in-between area of your heart and your memory and that whole blurriness of your past, which is just a story, and so is your future. And so I'm trying to like see how those things meet, like where am I in that continuum between my story of who I was and who I'm going to be, So it's like, and it's mostly just supposed to be a fun romantic record, I guess, with some good stories.
I feel like you write a lot of love songs.
I do, but it's like, so the songs aren't autobiographical, but they're like emotionally autobiographical, I guess, So, and there are real details, but are they? I don't even know. Did that really happen? Some of that stuff, could have been just a fantasy.
Makes a great song.
Yeah.
Well, along with being a musician, you also have a background in visual arts, and can you talk a little bit about how the two tie together for you? I read somewhere that you were penning lyrics and poems on baseballs. I mean, that's a pretty creative thing.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. And with the baseballs particularly, they kind of come from, I've been writing on whiteboards and sort of been using the national whiteboards in a long time ago as sort of not just a tool to figure out what you got to do on a record and all the songs and all the grids of things layering all the different instruments and check marks. Then I started painting and writing lyrics on those. But a lot of that is just because the first band, I've done nothing but art since I was 9, or since I quit playing baseball, in Little League. Art became my thing, so yeah, I've been an artist the whole time. I was a creative director in New York, and my first band, we started in an art studio. We were in the design studios, listening to music, making stuff. So making stuff while I'm writing songs has always been what I've done. So, but the writing on the baseball specifically it's just so I'm not. All these ideas aren't getting stuck in a notebook on a shelf, and it's fun. It feels good, and it makes me write slower. It makes me think about it, and the words bump up to each other differently. And then I've got all these piles of ideas that I can go kind of put them together and color code parts of it. It's just more fun than writing on your phone or in a notebook. That's all.
I mean, how many baseballs are we talking about, and what do you do with them? You make a sculpture?
50 or 60 baseball that some of them have turned into songs, and some of them are maybe just these baseballs. And I've done 15 or 20 whiteboards that are, were made over the course of the whole making of a record. But then I just do a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with songs. But even when I'm working on collages or paintings, I'm listening to music and writing lyrics down, and I have whiteboards all around me. I mean, the notebook thing just felt, and the phone just feels a little like a little bit of like you're writing with a leash on you or something like that. And so, I mean, I write on everything. I write on all kinds of shit. The walls, And
I guess you can throw a phone or a notebook, but
well, yeah.
That's that baseball.
Yeah, when I went at Corinne to check out one of my new ideas, I just tossed it, whiz it at her across the room.
What do you think of this song?
Yeah, and anyway, so yeah, it's mostly a way to just have fun with the process.
Well, keep those synapses firing. It is such a joy to have all of you here today, and the new album, Get Sunk, amazing. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thanks, Cheryl.
It's Matt Berninger live here in the KEXP studios. The new album, Get Sunk, on Concord Records. Thank you so much to the band today. What an incredible performance. And a big thank you to all of our listeners and viewers. You make sessions like this possible. KEXP is listener-powered. You can make a gift anytime in support of great music discovery at kexp.org. KEXP. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll let you know every time a new video launches. Once again, a big thank you to Matt Berninger.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're listening to Live on KEXP. Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.